that boy Doncic, he's the real deal. As we used to say in my day, that's the bad white boy.
It's been great to see how all the European and international players have just established themselves, not just in the league, but as some of the top players in the league. I mean, you say Luka, Jokic, Giannis. I mean, we're talking about three. I think they're in the top 10 in the league. Top 10 players. I don't think you can get them out of the top 10. Neither of those players.
He makes every single team in the league look like that. It just is what it is. This guy is so big, you double him, he sees over top of you, his passes are on time, on target most of the time. It's just, some players are just that good.
What you think about Luka?
I love Luka's pace. I love Luka's maturity. You see his maturity. You see how he's been playing with older men or older people in this life. You see it. He's not afraid of anything in the league. He goes at some of the best defenders the same way and makes them look like they're not that great of defenders. He has a pace. You can't speed him up. And he's figured out the league.
Basically, everybody around the basketball world knows that Luka Doncic is the real deal. He is one of the best players in the NBA. Being an international player, Luka has always faced a bit more doubters than the American prospects. But as time goes on, people are starting to realize that he is truly one of the best to do it. Even some NBA legends who have a knack for being harsh on NBA newcomers have grown to like and appreciate Luka's greatness. Let's see what they have had to say. Game planning when going against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks is probably not the easiest job in the world. Basketball Hall of Famer, ex-Maverick himself, Steve Nash explained just how difficult it was for him to make a plan for Luka while he was the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. He is phenomenal, just an incredible basketball player. He can do so many things on the basketball court and has such a skill set that is so great and versatile. He is an incredibly unique player already at a young age. As far as his uniqueness and accuracy and ability to make plays off the dribble with his size, we just don't see that, especially at his age. In the early days of Luka's career, he also got a lot of comparisons to Steve Nash. However, although Nash appreciates the love and has a lot of respect for Luka's game, he pointed out the obvious difference. Luka is one of the most exciting talents we've seen. Do I see some of myself in him? If I were 6'8" and 230 pounds, yeah. That's a big difference when you're 6'2", 175 pounds. Miami Heat legend Dwayne Wade didn't get to play much against Luka, but one game was more than enough for the Wade to come out impressed by the then-rookie Doncic. The first impression lasts the longest, so Luka made sure to deliver his A-game that night. After the game, which the Miami Heat won over the Mavs, Wade said that he was positively surprised by how good young Luka was, and even drew an interesting comparison to say the least. Quote me right where I say this, it is LeBron James, like from the standpoint of how he is able to rope that pass to shooters in corners, getting blitzed. There are not many guys who can do that and put it right there. He does an amazing job of it. Any comparison to LeBron is high praise given the King's status in the league as one of the greatest players in NBA history. And if somebody knows what it is like to get passes from LeBron, that would be Wade. Paul Pierce has often spoken of the greatness of Luka Doncic. He likes his game so much that he once went on to claim that Luka's game reminds him of his own from his days as a Boston Celtic. If you watch his offensive game, there is not a spot on the floor he cannot get to. I know he is not the most athletic, he is not the fastest, but check this out. He gets his shot off every single time, anytime he wants, and that was the best part of my game. In all honesty, this is a very valid and fair comparison. Pau Gasol is one of the greatest international NBA players ever and nowadays is a great basketball ambassador. Coming from Spain, he has always kept an eye on the ACB League, so he was aware of how good Luka Doncic was before many others. He is a very talented player. It is really rare how well this guy plays at his age. He just continues to grow. It is the right path. You see a guy who has done really well so far and is an exceptional young player, with great size, great fundamentals, great composure, great poise to his game for his age. He is a unique player. Julius Erving, one of the most iconic players ever, is a big fan of Luka Doncic. Erving was fascinated by Luka's maturity at such an early age and thinks that by playing professional basketball at the age of 16, helped his game evolve faster than some of his peers. Usually, players who are the same age as Luka experience competitive basketball when they reach college, and even that is not on the same level as the league in which Luka was playing back in Europe. After his amazing rookie campaign, Irving went out to give some praise to Luka. Luka is still not a top 10 player, at least not yet. He is 1 year in the league and had a great year as a rookie. It was phenomenal. Sometimes it can happen quickly for a guy year 1 to 3. In my estimation, when a guy gets into his 4th and 5th year is when you see what he's got. The fact that he started playing professionally at the age of 16 hasn't hurt him, so he is more of an early bloomer than some of the guys that go to college here in the US or join the NBA after 1 year in college. He had a great season, and he is a great replacement for Dirk. Carmelo Anthony didn't have quite a farewell ending of his NBA career, but managed to stay around the league and play a key veteran role for a couple of teams. However, he managed to reach a great accolade, scoring his 27th point over Luka Doncic in his first encounter against him. Melo managed to leave a lasting impression on Luka, as he got his bucket in vintage Carmelo style, which was like a symbolic passing of the torch. After the game, Doncic called him a walking bucket, to which Melo responded shortly, "I hope you guys out here in Dallas appreciate what you have right now in front of you. That boy is a killer." It is not a common sight to see Michael Jordan in the public eye nowadays. That doesn't make much of a difference though, as MJ is not known for giving much credit to other players. But when Luka signed with the Jordan brand, Michael had to make an exception. Of course, by signing Luka to his brand, it is obvious that he believes in his talents, but it was much more special when he went out to say a couple of praising words about Luka. Luka is a phenomenal player, and at such a young age, he is demonstrating skills that take many guys years to develop. It will be incredible to watch him continue to advance in the league. Shaquille O'Neal doesn't often praise young players, but when he does, he shows all of his love for them. Shaq believes that Doncic actually has a shot at being better than him, and thinks that even though it's unfair to compare Doncic to Bird, he's got a chance to surpass those expectations and silence those who still doubt him. I was not a fan of what Larry Bird did growing up because I thought everything he did was lucky. Shaq confessed on The Dan Patrick Show. "It is unfair, but listen, I can tell he wants to be great and he will be great. He has a lot to live up to. I remember when, in my second year, I was named to the NBA Top 50 and people were going crazy. But I knew, I was like, all you old-timers think I am not top 50, watch this. Luka has been a pro since 16, so he is already going up against the best. In 2 or 3 years, everyone is going to fade out." Shaq's inside the NBA colleague, Charles Barkley, probably has even more admiration for Luka than Shaq does. I don't think that there is a ceiling for Luka. I think he is just special. Luka is a special talent. He is a tough kid. The stuff he is doing right now is incredible. He has got to learn to play off the ball a little bit more. I think one reason you saw this Dallas team get to the next level is because when Luka got hurt, other guys had to be more aggressive. Although Luka Doncic has proven to be one of the best players in the world, Dallas Mavs legend Dirk Nowitzki wasn't sure it would work out that way at the beginning of Luka's NBA journey. "We needed a little spark plug to change things. I didn't think it was going to be this kid. I'm not sure this is going to work. Is he quick enough? Is he athletic enough to go by guys like he is in Europe?" And so, there were plenty of doubts there from everybody on the team. You could already see it. This kid has got something about him. He has got that swag, he knows how to play. We were thinking he is going to be a really good player, but I didn't think he was going to go to that level. Reggie Miller was one of the best shooters and guards in general in the 1990s. Besides being a known sharpshooter, Miller was also one of the most durable NBA players, and was never out of shape during his playing days. After the end of the 2022-23 NBA season, Miller called out the Mavericks superstar's physical shape as one of the main reasons behind Dallas's lack of success. Luka has got to get in better shape. They have got to run more, and I think they did that when Luka was out and Kyrie was at the helm, because they are much better when they play faster. Everybody thought that this would spark a hot reaction from Luka, but instead it was the opposite, which was a positive surprise for Reggie. Luka's coach Jason Kidd appeared on All the Smoke podcast and revealed that Luka took Reggie's comments personally because they were very valid, so he decided to prove the sharpshooter wrong. We all saw Luka taking his body seriously. I think during the season, Reggie or someone made the comment that he thought he was too heavy. And what I love about Luka is he never runs from opinions. So when Reggie said that, he worked on his body and he took off. Doncic started working out and got in better shape, and this was obvious during the 2023 FIBA World Cup, as well as during the 2023-24 NBA season. Luka has been looking better and more fit, but also has played at a high level during all the heavy minutes he has been getting. Over the last couple of decades, the NBA and the game of basketball have grown to be very popular worldwide. International players have finally gotten the infrastructure, but also the platform to showcase their skills. What has that resulted in? Well, right now, 4 of the best players in the league are internationals, one of them, of course, being Luka Doncic. Ray Allen has also recognized this trend, and he seems to appreciate the fact that the game has gotten to this level. If you think about what the players now look like in the NBA, the Greek Freak, the process, Jokic and Doncic, you could make an argument that those 4 guys are the best 4 players in the NBA right now. And none of them are American-born. So that is just a testament to how global the game has gone over the last 20 years, and it is really because of their talent. Now, when you look at the players and where they come from, maybe 20 years ago, people were questioning, if he has come from Europe, can they hack it? While Allen didn't talk more about Luka, it is obvious that he appreciates his game. People often give Magic a tough time for making obvious statements on Twitter, but this one just had to be said. Doncic is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of player, and he's only going to get better as the years go by, which is exactly what Magic tweeted. Luka Doncic continues to prove why he is a once-in-a-lifetime player and MVP candidate. The Dallas Mavericks have one of the most explosive offenses in the league, and once their defense catches up, they're going to be contending for NBA championships for years to come. In a recent episode of his KG-certified podcast, The Big Ticket brought up all the reasons why he likes the way Luka Doncic plays the game of basketball. It is no secret that before joining the league, Luka played professionally overseas for a couple of years. When he first came to the NBA, he was already mature, which is what KG likes most about his game. I love Luka. I love Luka's pace. I love Luka's maturity. You see his maturity, you see how he has been playing with older men or older people in his life. You see it. KG continued his praise. He is not afraid of anything in the league. He goes at some of the best defenders the same way and makes them look like they are not that great of defenders. He has a pace. You can't speed him up, and he has figured out the league. Hall of Famer Chris Bosh unfortunately had to finish his playing career earlier than expected due to health concerns. But he is still up to date with the current basketball events. He appeared on All Things Considered, where he talked on many basketball topics, including who his favorite young stars were. He mentioned Devin Booker, Ja Morant, Donovan Mitchell, and of course, Luka Doncic, who he mostly focused on. So many good players in the league right now. Yeah, Luka Doncic. He has been incredible. It's just like, when you are not sure he can sustain that level of play, he has better games. Although Gary Payton was famous for his trash-talking skills, he revealed Europeans were the toughest to beat mentally because they did not let him get into their head. In his playing days, international basketball produced some of the NBA's most talented players, though they were not as dominant as today's stars like Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic. It wasn't like that because they weren't here, and we didn't give them an opportunity to get in. Payton compared the international talent level now and back in the day. Now, many of them get there, but you have to understand that they started playing professional basketball when they were 14, 15. So they know how to play the game and how to do it. That is exactly why Luka is so good. And that's why people get mad at him, because he says, it's too easy. It is too easy for him because he's been doing it all his life. And that is just the way it goes there. I think these guys are getting better and better, and we are going over there to get them. It is not a coincidence that they're getting drafted, because they're good basketball players. Luka Doncic is a prime example of that. We lost basketball legend Kobe Bryant in the start of 2020, when Luka had only played a season and a half in the NBA. Although Bryant's tragic passing did not grant him the chance of watching much Luka Doncic basketball, the Black Mamba had seen just enough in order for Luka to earn his respect. And he showed his respect to Luka in the most typical Black Mamba fashion. There was an incident at one point during the game between the Dallas Mavericks and Los Angeles Lakers where a Lakers fan talked so much trash to Luka Doncic. He actually acknowledged the fan. Well, that was Kobe. Once Luka realized who that was, he smiled and shook Kobe's hand. A great sign of respect between the two, who had previously worked out a bit during the summer of 2018. To make this story of Kobe talking trash to Luka even crazier was that Kobe actually trash-talked in Slovenian, Luka's native language. So, while the Black Mamba never actually gave direct props to Luka and his game, he showed all of us more than enough to acknowledge that Luka has earned the Black Mamba's approval. When it comes to describing Dallas Mavericks point guard Luka Doncic, Portland coach Chauncey Billups was prophetic. Billups went on and on about the difficulties of trying to contain Doncic. It was as if he was discussing the difficulties of trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. He is the toughest cover. He is the toughest cover in the league. You can prepare for scorers, prepare for bigs. He is all of those things in one. He is a tough prep, and he keeps you up at night with some of the things he does out there, Billups said. But his usage, you know he is going to have the ball the whole time. The whole shot clock, pretty much. So yeah, he is definitely a tough cover. In the world of basketball, comparisons between current and former players are inevitable. And one such comparison that has gained traction is between Luka Doncic and Croatian legend Toni Kukoc. Kukoc, who is a Hall of Famer and made a name for himself in both European and NBA basketball, believes that comparing the two is entirely fair. In a recent interview with Brandon Robinson, Kukoc stated, "That was the way I played. When I played in Europe, that was exactly the way I played. When I got to the Bulls, obviously that position was more or less reserved for Scottie Pippen. But I can see where they are coming from." Tony Parker was maybe never a star of Luka's caliber in the NBA, but he still was one of the best point guards of his generation, and probably the best international point guard as well. Still involved in basketball, now president of a French basketball club, Tony Parker has kept his eye on Luka and really likes what he has been doing. He is a great talent, such a great talent. He is the face of the next generation of European basketball. He has been playing well in Spain, in the NBA, and for his national team. With him being so young still, a lot of people are excited to see what the future holds for him. He is a great competitor and a winner. He is going to have a great career. As the Mavs guard continues to frame his name amongst the all-time greats, Tracy McGrady had the following to say about him recently. When asked, which younger player do you look at in the NBA and say, that's the next? Tracy had the following response. Luka is pretty damn good. I love watching Luka, because Luka is not the fastest. He is not the quickest. He can't jump over a dollar, but skills-wise, his skill level is off the charts. He knows how to control the pace of the game. He knows how to create space and get his shot off anybody. Whether it is somebody that is bigger, stronger, quicker than him. He just knows how to play the game and control the pace. Out of all the praising words and comments about Luka, Allen Iverson might have given the best answer, no pun intended. Luka's game provides fans with a lot of excitement, which is exactly how Iverson reacted when he watched some clips of Luka playing. After watching some highlights on the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, Iverson was shocked by how good Luka was and didn't hide it one bit. Something is wrong with him. He is crazy good. Iverson didn't use many words, but he still managed to say a lot and proved that he was just like the rest of us when we are watching Luka perform Luka magic. Luka Doncic is soon turning 25 years old, and here he is, dominating the basketball world and gathering fans from all ages, nations, and fan bases. He has earned tremendous amounts of respect from his peers in Europe while he was competing in the Spanish Basketball League and the Euro League. He has earned approval from international fans when playing for Slovenia at FIBA tournaments. He has earned his respect from peers in the NBA, players and coaches included. NBA legends have really appreciated his winning mentality and serious approach to the game. Although you see him smiling and having fun while on the court, you can also tell that he takes it very seriously. The easiest way to notice that is by looking at how he talks to officials when not getting a call his way. All jokes aside, Luka is a phenomenal talent and a tremendous basketball ambassador. He is playing at 100% and he is playing in every possible game there is. That is why the old heads like him, unlike many other young basketball players who may be very talented themselves. Luka is the real deal, and he is here to stay. So, if these legends know it, we sure can as well. Let's appreciate Luka magic while he is here.